Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Blood Runs Deep quest. Now, for this quest you need the following requirements. You must have completed all the prequel quests, which are Dream Mentor, Glorious Memories, Horror from the Deep, and you must also have completed all the Fremennik province, easy, medium and hard tasks. If you need guides on any of those, look in the video description below and you'll see links for each respective guide. You're also going to need these skill requirements: level 75 attack and strength and level 65 slayer, and you're going to need to be able to kill at least 50 Dagannoths level 77, 2 level 98 Dagannoth Sentinels and a Dagannoth Mother, and I'll talk to you about strategies for them in a little bit. So that's it for requirements. Now onto the items. So the only item you actually sort of need is a rope, which can be obtained during the quest. However, all these other items I do recommend. So you're going to need to be able to have sort of every form of attack possible in terms of the combat triangle, as you'll be fighting against the Dagannoth Mother, which is very similar to the one you fought in Horror from the Deep, which will have a weakness to each specific attack, such as melee, range, and then water, fire, air, etc. So ideally you would like some hybrid armour so you can switch between all combat styles, and then you're going to want some form of melee weapon, some form of ranged weapon and some form of magic weapon with the appropriate spells to go with it. Obviously food, and that is a given in order to fight against the various Dagannoths, and also a Dwarf Multicannon would come in handy as well, so that helps sort of speed up part of the quest. So it's up to you if you wish to do that, and obviously bring some cannonballs with you as well. So that's it for the requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So throughout most of this quest you'll be frequently going to Relica, so you might want to consider moving your player own house to Relica, or you can keep using the Fremennik province lodestone. So for the moment we are currently on the Lunar Isle, which can be accessed via the Lunar Isle lodestone, and we need to go speak to Baby Yaga, who can be found in the chicken leg house. So once you find her, talk to her about the man in the bed. She tells you he washed up on the shore and asks if you can help her. She says you two can travel to the sick man's dream world and find the root of his problem. She reminds you that anything can happen in the dream world, so suggests you prepare for war. So during this trip with Baby Yaga, you'll be attacked by level 81 Dagannoths that use melee and range, and they're weak to air spells, and also level 84 Wallasolkis that use magic. Now you don't need to kill them since they will just respawn, but you do need to survive their attacks for a few minutes while Baby Yaga works to get you two off the platform and back to her house, and if you die your gravestone will appear next to her house, and obviously you can use the Lunar Lodestone teleport to get back quickly. So once you're ready, talk to Baby Yaga in her house, and in a cutscene you and Baby Yaga will go to the ceremonial brazier and enter the man's dreams. In the dream you'll find yourself on the first floor of the lighthouse and figure out that the man is Silas, the previous lighthouse keeper. Choose the listen option to hear what he is muttering, and he writes in his journal. Baby Yaga will then suggest you search the room. You want to search the bookcase on the north side of the platform to find a prophecy tablet. If you have no empty inventory slots, Baby Yaga will take the tablet for safekeeping. Talk to her again and she wonders where the stair leads, and you want to climb down the stairs and you see rows and rows of Dagannoth below you walking out of a tunnel. Talk to Baby Yaga, who suggests you listen for anything and choose to eavesdrop on either Silas or the Dagannoth Mother. You'll learn that the Mother is gathering an army to attack the barbarian port of Relica. The Mother will also go on to say once her children have developed the new immunity she has mastered, the world will be their toy. And after listening in, Baby Yaga will say you two need to find a lectern to escape. Enter the tunnel to the west on your platform, and you and Baby Yaga will find yourselves on another platform with Silas slumped over the ground. Talk to Silas, who asks who you are, and then try to read the book on the lectern, which isn't working, and Baby Yaga shall say have to study the lectern. So at this point the Dagannoths and the Wallasolkis will all start attacking you. While this is happening, Baby Yaga will figure out what is wrong with the lectern, and occasionally Baby Yaga will heal you, but only for a certain amount of times. So ideally you want to be using either range or magic. The Dagannoths are weak to air spells, so probably magic would be better, and obviously they are going to keep respawning, but you might want to just keep fighting just to help limit the amount of damage you'll take. So after you've done this for several minutes, Baby Yaga will eventually figure out how to fix the lectern, and you two will be teleported away. Baby Yaga will congratulate you, mentioning how close the battle was, and you will both leave the platform and find yourself back in the chicken leg house. So you'll now be safe back in a house. You can restock at this point if you are not yet ready to fight another large group of Dagannoth, but when you're ready, talk to Baby Yaga, and the Onarimancer will then appear in the house and talk to Baby Yaga. Ask what is happening, and the leader of the Moon Clan will tell you Relica is under attack by hordes of Dagannoths and ask you to go help and offer to get you to Relica quickly. So when you get to Relica, you want to join the Fremennik in defending their city against level 77 Dagannoth that use melee and ranged. Protect from melee is recommended if you're starting to take a lot of damage from them. So at this point you need to have killed 50 Dagannoths before Brunt the Chieftain will call you to join him. So a quick way of doing this is setting up your Dwarf Multicannon, as that way it's attacking all the Dagannoths in the area and just helps sort of speed up this bit. Obviously just be careful because obviously all the Dagannoths attacks will be focused on you, so prayers will definitely be needed if you're a low level. So obviously do this for several minutes, and then when you reach the 50 Dagannoth kills you'll get the cutscene or dialogue come up from Brunt the Chieftain calling you to join him on his ship, indicated on the dock, which will be on your mini-map with a yellow flashing arrow. So once you're on the long ship, speak with Queen Sigrid. She'll tell you that King Vargas is missing and that the two of them are engaged to be married, and she'll give you the mighty Balmung. She mentions to not let Vargas near the axe as he can be very clumsy at times. And you can also speak to Princess Astrid or Prince Brand if you want. After receiving the Balmung, talk to Brunt and ask for another seal of passage, and he'll tell you to keep an eye out for Barda on Waterbirth Island, as he might have seen something. So if you're ready, go to Waterbirth Island. If you're not, you can choose to go back to Relica to prepare, and then have him take you back to Etc. once you've done that. So once you're ready and you've made it to Waterbirth Island, you want to go to the dungeon entrance to find Barda and ask him if he's seen anything strange. He'll tell you he's hearing voices like an old man. Talk to him again and he'll tell you he saw a hole on top of the island round to the south, and he'll also give you a rope if you don't have one. Make your way to the southwestern tip of the island and choose the tie rope option and climb down the hole, and you'll then find the injured King Vargas. Talk to him and he'll tell you he's been held captive. Now you may want to turn off your run at this point, as Vargas is too injured to keep up with you, and if you go too far apart you'll be spawned outside the cavern and have to go through this again. So Barda yells down at Dagannoth. Dagannoths are swarming around the cave entrance above, and you'll have to find another way out. And Vargas will tell you of another way through an underwater passage. He'll ask for food, but says you should hold on for it now. And later in one of the rooms, if you need to heal him, you'll have to actually use the food on him to get his health back up. So if you die at this part, your gravestone will appear outside the entrance to the Dagannoth cave. Your Balmung will not appear under the gravestone, but it can be re-obtained from Chief Brunton back in Relica. So when you're ready, proceed north and then east to the ladder at the end of the corridor. You want to take your time and turn off run, as Vargas limping has difficulty keeping up with you, and as I said, don't get too far ahead of him or the Dagannoth will get him and return you to the first chamber. Vargas will walk slower than the walking pace, and make sure to stop every now and again and let him catch up. So climb down the ladder and you want to start navigating through the dungeon. The first room contains a Wolasolki with magic attacks, rock lobsters and Dagannoth. The rock lobsters can deal a bit of damage if you don't have protect from melee on. So basically, for this point, there's no real strategy other than as you're sort of navigating through, you're going to want to keep attacking all the monsters so you don't keep having too much damage dealt on you, whilst trying to stay at a good sort of close proximity to Vargas, as like I said, if you run too far ahead he will sort of black out and you'll have to start from scratch again. So literally what I was kind of doing was just going several paces ahead just to kind of keep fighting the monsters and to get the ones that you've already passed sort of out of attack range, and then when he's sort of caught up, carry on proceeding again. You'll sort of gather how far the distance is that you can go, because he will start shouting if you're going too far ahead. Obviously use the environment to your advantage, so if you can get all the monsters sort of in one spot together, that will help with multiple hitting attacks. And obviously just bear in mind to keep an eye on your food and health just so that doesn't get too low, but you're not going to get too mobbed as long as you're being careful with your prayers, and obviously you're just trying to kill the monsters as quick as you can. Obviously they will be respawning, so you bear that in mind as well. So once you finally make it to the final room, King Vargas climbs the ladder first, and a trap set by the Dagannoth causes rocks to fall, killing you. You awake to find yourself in the Fremennik spiritual realm, where fallen Fremennik warriors go when they die. This will be your future respawn until the quest is over. So you want to talk with the woman who explains where you are, and then with Niall and Aslaif, who have walked up to the two of you. After speaking with all of them, talk with the woman again, who will take you back to your friends. You'll wake up on Brunt's longboat, talk with Brunt, who explains what happened. Next, speak with King Vargas. He'll give you a prophecy tablet he found in the Dagannoth cave. Vargas with Queen Sigrid will tell you they wish to be married on the boat and ask you to conduct the wedding ceremony. Marry the royal couple using whichever options you feel are appropriate, as it doesn't change the quest. Following the ceremony, your fiancé will also ask that you two get married depending on who you picked in the prequel quest. You can agree or choose not to marry by selecting the Let Discuss It later option, and it doesn't affect the quest, so you can choose whichever you want. And then finally, talk to Brunt, who'll offer to take you to Relica or to the bank on etc. So you'll now be coming up to the final fights, where you'll be fighting against the Dagannoth Sentinels and then continuing straight on for the battle with the Dagannoth Mother. So as I said at the beginning of the part of the quest, the Dagannoth Mother will be only weak to a certain combat style attack, so obviously it's best to try and have all the combat available, so melee, range, then all 4 of the elemental spells. And then hybrid armour, so you don't have a negative effect on your attack accuracy. So, back in Relica, talk with Brunt in the long haul about the war against the Dagannoths and tell him you're ready to go, and you'll see a cutscene of the Fremennik fleet sailing for Waterbirth Island. On board the ship, talk with Baby Yaga about the meaning of the prophecy tablets, and you three will work out the daughter of the old Dagannoth mother has grown up and become the new mother to the Dagannoth. To prevent a new mother from emerging again, instead of killing the mother, you must weaken her severely and then seal her in the chamber. On Waterbirth Island, head to the dungeon entrance on the southwestern tip of the island, where you originally found King Vargas, and climb down. In the chamber, you'll find Koschei the Deathless, Baby Yaga, and the Prince and Princess of Miscellanea. Talk to them and then try to enter the tunnel to the south of where you're standing, and Koschei say he will watch the entrance to the tunnel. In the second chamber, attempt to enter the tunnel to the south, and you'll hear a roar, and Koschei enters the chamber and says the Dagannoth kings have entered the hatchery. He needs help, so the rest of your companions go back while you go on to finish the quest by yourself. So enter the third cave, where you'll find 2 Dagannoth Sentinels. The Sentinels are powerful guardians of the Mother. They use all 3 combat styles against the player, a melee attack, the signature Dagannoth ranged attack, and the water-based spell similar to the Wolaselki. They also have a rallying cry that they'll use if one Sentinel's life points falls too low, which will cause the weaker one to heal. So the preferred strategy to beat them is to use the Balmung, as they have a weakness to both it and slash damage. And what you want to do is really fully concentrate on one Dagannoth, just so you can deal as many blows as you can, otherwise the other one will start trying to heal it if you then start switching between. So just focus on one, try and use attacks that will sort of do damage over time, like the bleed out ability. Also, I forget what the ability is called off the top of my head, but one of the 100% adrenaline abilities enables you to do double damage at the cost of also having double weakness, so that will help kill one off, so you can then just concentrate on the other one. I think it's Berserk, actually, now thinking of it. Now, after you kill both of them, they will not respawn, so you can take this opportunity to get healed up and ready to go into the next room. So make your way through the cave, avoiding the Guardians, head east, climb over an obstruction and loop round to the west, and then head through, and you'll find the entrance to the Dagannoth's Mother's chamber. So much like the Mother from the Horror from the Deep and the Dagannoth Mother from the Recipe for Disaster quest, the new Mother signals her weaknesses by the colour on her back. Unlike those before her though, her colour changes do not follow a predictable pattern. Instead, she'll randomly move between colours and can stick with colours as well. So like I said, hopefully you guys have taken my advice and used your hybrid armor so you can then switch between melee, range and magic. Obviously melee you want to use the Balmung, has a special weakness against the Dagannoths. Range, obviously whatever range weapon you've got, and then with magic you might want to set up so you can quickly change between elementals with autocast. So perhaps if you put your 4 elemental spells together on your ability bar, if you right click and click autocast, you'll then switch to that magic style, so that way there's not too much sort of delay. So just to cover what each of her colours are, and like I said, it doesn't stand out as much in this one as it did in the other ones. They used to completely change colour. It's only a part on her back. So these are the weaknesses. If the back is white, air spells are weak against. Blue is water spells, brown is earth spells, red is fire spells, orange is melee, so you want to use your Balmung then, and then green is ranged. Now if you find you cannot see her colour changes clearly, if you go to your graphics setting and turn the lighting detail to low, you'll see it a bit more. Also the chat box should tell you what colour she's changed to. Now she can be a strong foe using a powerful melee attack up close, which can strike for 1,000 or more life points, and also does use range and magic as well. Whatever you find is doing more damage against you, then obviously use that appropriate prayer. So after a while the mother will eventually run out of life points. She collapses yelling no, you cannot do this, but does not die. So after the mother has collapsed, you want to exit her chamber and then return to the small antechamber which contained the pickaxe, plank and tinderbox. So in this antechamber you want to pick these up and then choose the collapse pillar option on one of the pillars in the room to seal in the mother. The plan goes amiss however, and the ceiling caves in, killing you once more and sending you back to the Fremennik spiritual realm. Talk to the spirit again, who will say it's not your time to be in the realm, and she probably won't see you again until your real time comes, and will send you back to your companions in the main chamber. So back in the main chamber in the dungeon you'll see the dead bodies of the prince and princess of Miscellanea. Choose the check option on both of them. Talk with Baby Yaga and Koschei to learn what happened, and then if you want to attempt to climb up the rope, Brunt the chieftain will then call down telling you to head to his boat as the Fremennik offense is failing. On board his ship, talk with Brunt about what happened, and then you'll sail on to Miscellanea and Etcetera to watch a cutscene where King Vargas, Queen Sigrid, Brunt and you launch and set fire to the pyre ships bearing the bodies of the prince and princess. Brunt and you will then return to Relica, and you want to then speak to him 3 times after the quest to completely finish it and receive your experience rewards. And it will come up, congratulations, you have completed Blood Runs Deep quest, you're awarded 2 quest points. The Balmung, you'll have 450,000 combat experience in total, so 3 lots of 150,000 in either attack, defense, strength, constitution, range, magic or prayer. However, they do require level 75 as a minimum in order to use it on that skill. You can speak to Chief Brunt to receive these when you're ready. Access to the Dagannoth Guardians. Both the Dagannoth Mother and her Sentinels can be faced in Dominion Tower. 2 treasure and the keys and 2 hearts of ice. So there we go, quest complete. So overall, not a really difficult quest. It is quite lengthy, but that's mostly due to all the cutscenes and that. The only bit that you'll sort of have a bit of time spent on will be where you're taking King Vargas through the dungeon, as you do have to go at a slow pace in order to not let him lose you. But as long as you brought plenty of resources and that, and you're using the strategy that I mentioned, you won't struggle at that bit. And the Dagannoth Mother is not that difficult. It's very similar to the Dagannoth Mother from Horror from the Deep and the one in the Recipe for Disaster. The only difference is it's a little bit more tricky with the order that they do the weaknesses in, but again, not something you'll really struggle against. As for the rewards, the experience reward is really decent. Obviously it does require a minimum of level 75 in the skill, but that'll definitely bump you up a couple of levels, and the Balmung is quite handy against the Dagannoths as well. But yeah, overall, I don't think you'll run into any problems following my guide. If you do get stuck, however, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best as I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers everyone, bye bye.